enjoyed outstanding success in the classroom with your studies and outside the classroom with your extracurricular activities and community involvement. You are to be commended and congratulated for your many athletic, artistic, vocational, and youthful accomplishments as well. You've made us all extremely proud. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge the 5 members of the class of 2019 who plan to join a branch of the United States military. Angela Hardblaster, United States Army Reserve. Justin McClellan, United States Air Force. United States Army. Gregory Pickard, United States Navy. And Courtney Taggart, United States Navy. I would also like to thank all of you in the audience who are Slippery Rock High School alumni. Thank you for the legacy you have helped to build in making this such a great school district. Graduates, much attention has been given the last 10 weeks you've been in school, but we are here to celebrate all 468 weeks that you attended school, kindergarten through 12th grade, not these past 10. You now clearly understand what it means to be patient, to be resilient, to be diligent. You take those qualities with you as you leave Slippery Rock High School. Never forget your roots. And at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the current school board president, Mrs. Sarah Whitman. Mrs. Whitman.
Thanks for everything, helping me out with those textbooks and all planned in services. I've been around long enough to know what not doing planned in services are like. So.
I think you're up. You're supposed to sing the national anthem.
It is a great honor and privilege for me to introduce you to Victorian Dan Power. Dan is the son of Floyd and Susan Power in Slippery Rock. During his high school career, Dan has taken 7 advanced placement classes, including AP Chemistry, Statistics, European History, English Literature, Calculus, English Language and Composition, and Government Politics. While at Slippery Rock Area High School, Dan has been
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to call Group 1, which is the top 10, and last names Augustino through Bowers to the right to line up. And I'd also like to call Group 2, which is Raymo through DeMarco to the left to line up. Please be patient as we begin to call the class roll.
Kelly, do you want me to do that?
Great job on your team.
I just don't want on the ground. Do you want me to move it around while you stand back and see what it looks like? Or good? Yeah, it looks good. That looks good. Yeah. All right. Don't forget to see me. I usually check something. Yep. Still got it. It's fine.
Even after school, I'm on the opposite. Oh man. Don't mind me, I walked to the wrong side.
That's okay. You good to go now?
Yeah, I just thought, I was looking at this one with the left side going.
There's that. Somewhere between.
Good. You guys ready? Yeah. Ready to go, graduate?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is another honor and privilege for me to be able to call the roll of Silver Rock Area High School, class of 2020.
I don't think I'll miss it.
That's what you're doing. If you're good at those things. I'm not saying that's That is a really strong singer. Woo! If the things are the same, I can stop
So it is. No, I'm looking forward.
If I have
Well, nothing to do.
I can speak for someone that
Nobody to mess with.
gets on about. I just speak for traditions that I could do. I could have that up here.
Robert Finland.
camera's a little tilted, it looks like.
I'm gonna make sure it turns off.
That's
When
your
pillows.
hat that's tilted.
Alyssa
Oh, is it?
Jean Arnold.
Like I said, if it's the same, I don't know.
Isabella Colleen Page.
Not that I gotta start.
Ian
Oh yeah, it's the
Eisenhower.
same.
Noah Allen Everland. Brandon Travis Hines. Stephanie Cole.
I can.
Timothy Tianyu Cole. Nathan Daniel Hyatt.
I have I can speak.
Addison Mariah Ippolito. Grayson Helen Kennedy.
But
Michael Wayne Curley. Mackenzie D. Koch. Jeff Allen Landstrom. Sarah Joanne Lacey. Logan Robert Leone. Bradley Scott Lewis.
Yeah, Riley.
Isabella Grace Lindy.
Oh, God.
that was the best thing to do with your yeah, that was the best thing.
Laura Jacqueline Manning. Inaba Suhako Manning.
Yeah, but no move.
Zachary Vincent Marini.
Yeah, Marini.
Rebecca Lynn McKinney. And on group 6, which is Reimer and M. Taggart, please report to the left to line up. Duncan James McCoy. Caitlin Elizabeth McWhorter. Matthew Meredith. Evie Marie Burton. Robert Williams Miller. Sophia Elizabeth Jenkins. Sophie. Shane Matthew Rivera.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
James Merton.
Hey, I didn't hear what they said.
Rebecca Nicole
thinking, you know what the valedictorian and the salutatorian have in common? Dad's graduated in 85.
We took our pictures, Kayla and Vance and me and Scott.
Class of 85, still making a difference here.
We're gonna send it to a couple of the other guys. Lunch, John, Dale,
There's some brain power there.
well, like we were joking, some other stuff.
Alexander Smith Howell. Autumn Marie Smart.
Yeah!
Noah Daniel Snyder. Christian Alejandro Sosa. Sophia Nancy Spence. Ryan Ruby Strode. Faith Elizabeth Steiner. Taylor H. Booth. Isabella Oliver Stover. Grace Courtney Lynn Haggard. Madison Rebecca Myers.
You're gonna send it to him? Yeah, I got that. Yeah, so I'll have 2 vantage points.
There you go.
That's cool.
Take care.
Yep, I'm gonna head back in.
Nathan Alexander.
Are they gonna?
Alexis Sue Evans. Kayla G. Baser. Lindsay Carol Fagg. Thomas Christopher Webb. Wayne Weary. Blake Isaac Whitmer. Carly Ann Worsley. Julia Marie Hart. Paula Elise Martin. Anthony Michael Fidel.
There you go, Beetle Bailey. Woo! My boy. Been a long time, Nate. Been a long time. Good job.
Nate Edward Young.
say that. All right, let's.
You can do it. Just go. It's gonna be great.
Are you kidding me? We were planning on trying to go. You said yes?
Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to apologize to Ian Countryman. Ian is in the United States Navy, and we definitely want to acknowledge that. So my apologies for bringing you out here.
It's like a break in there, and it's like really just dead. We don't know. We don't recognize it.
So you can move. Yeah. You guys got it?
We are doing the dance, but
Yes,
if you really, that's what I suspect. We don't know.
Do it. You want it or not? It's your world.
What you're told.
It's your world. That's you want it or not.
I could have been doing something.
If you do, that's cool.
Look, it's up to you.
I saw him when he had his Navy picture.
You didn't get your shit.
All right.
You can do it.
All right.
This is your night.
All right. I just don't want to like.
I saw you.
I do.
Here's my question. Do you think people would appreciate it? Kelly, you didn't.
It's a criteria. That's all.
I live in the singing activity.
I just don't think that all. It's okay.
Use that for body. Good job, baby. Is that Clinton? That was Clinton? Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Our attendance is going to go up.
This is my
Great when you're ready. It's a writer. Right there.
There was some hot car that just chased after the car.
What was it called? Nope. So you don't spend your time.
You guys are
I'll take this weird right there.
It's funny.
I didn't notice her until she got off the couch. I was like, oh,
It's really nice.
Oh man, I was tough.
You were good. You didn't take it long. Here's it.
Did you do it yet? It's going to be fantastic.
I'm ready. I'm thinking about doing just doing my part at the beginning and stop. Just say I'm gonna airdrop this to you or text it, whatever. This is yours to keep. Watch it how you want. It's really nice. It's gonna love it.
We can record it. Do your phone. Record it. And
We're really doing this. This is really great.
you guys are great.
I'm sorry.
Can I, like, Travis and Chris or Julia Hart? Yep.
I don't want to waste the food after.
It's not wasted.
She was validated.
No.
One of the clowns off.
Treasurer. Yep. And then we have Anthony Vidal.
All right, before we begin, I want to say, please refrain from stealing any of the signs
Were
and
they-
drive-in.
Salutatorian dance.
Also, thank you. Hello, good evening, big girls and boys. I would like to start off by saying thank you to everyone that helped me to the best possible during the unusual time. A year ago, I finally knew what to say. For when you say your classmates that have lost lips or offended, the best we must is to you. I still have no clue. I tried looking for a graduation speech for dummies book. Finding speech they're not about pandemic graduation speeches. It's never happened before. Okay, so I'll try my best. Congratulations to all the fellow graduates. Through all the chaos in the world right now, we have finally graduated. A few years ago, we began our journey at SRHS High School. It was a hot and sweaty day. No AC, no drought, just humidity and cheap spirit in the air. To say the least, it was below expectations. What we did not know then was the years of memories that would follow, such as sports, band, choir, dances, fundraisers, and the long days in school. Those days we would spend rubbing pencils on the walls, sitting on our phones, and goofing around in class. God bless Mrs. Hall. And we can't forget about all the learning we've had. We always tried to go through 1990s business textbooks in the school. All jokes aside, our time at SRHS High School was full of smiles and laughs. We will also never forget the memory we made outside of school. The weekend nights, messing around and waking up. After this point, your journey is up to you. Our future is so bright, we get by sunrise at first, and see where they go. Really though, my fellow graduates are young. We may have lost less people, but now we get to look forward to the memories we have already had. The last official act and senior class president is to make it official. Please get out in front of your car or just anywhere you're standing, and please face the front of the driving towards the big screen, and we'll make it official. Mr. Townsend, on the right side of your couch. All right? Everyone turn to the left. Congratulations.
Graduates, please listen for your group to be called. You will hear me reference left and right. The left and right will be determined as you are facing the screen. I just want to take the opportunity to personally thank this year's senior class officers, Nate Gill, Anthony Vidal, Calla Martin, and Julia Hart. They have really put a significant amount of heart and soul into planning a graduation that would be the most normal while still following the PA Department of Health guidelines. I'd also like to thank Megan Adams, because without her, you wouldn't be seeing us on the screen tonight. I'd also like to thank Mr. Hake and Dr. Angelucci for their willingness to work with us on what is truly an unconventional yet unforgettable graduation. Please be patient with us as we do embark on this new adventure. At this time, I would like to call the valedictorian and salutatorian to the report to the concession stand. I'd like to introduce the superintendent of Slippery Rock Area School District for some opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Angelucci.
Hello, this is Dr. Angelucci, Slippery Rock Area School District. There will be no 2-hour delay tomorrow. There will be no announcement of school closure tomorrow, but seniors, you are not to come back. You're graduating. We're very proud of you. And ladies and gentlemen, as a commissioned officer of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and superintendent of the Slippery Rock Area School District, I would like to welcome all of you to the graduation ceremony for the Slippery Rock High School's class of 2020. On behalf of the Board of Education and our administration, I would like to congratulate this class for their extracurricular, athletic, and academic achievements. You have enjoyed outstanding success in the classroom with your studies and outside the classroom with your extracurricular activities and community involvement. You are to be commended and congratulated for your many athletic, artistic, vocational, and musical accomplishments as well. You've made us all extremely proud. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge the 5 members of the class of 2019 who plan to join a branch of the United States military. Angela Arblaster, United States Army Reserve. Joshua Braun, United States Air Force. Jess Landsberger, United States Army. Gregory Prince, United States Navy. And Courtney
Taggart, United States Navy. I would also like to thank all of you in the audience who are Slippery Rock High School alumni. Thank you for the legacy you have helped to build in making this such a great school district. Graduates, much attention has been given to the last 10 weeks you have been in school, but we are here to celebrate all 468 weeks that you attended school, kindergarten through 12th grade, not these past 10. You now clearly understand what it means to be patient, to be resilient, to be diligent. You take those qualities with you as you leave Slippery Rock High School. Never forget your roots. And at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you current school board president, Mrs. Sarah Whitman. Mrs. Whitman.
Good evening. Congratulations to the class of 2020. While we celebrate the seniors tonight, I want to thank those that have helped. Without parents, teachers, coaches, and friends, we would not be here today. Many hands have helped to lay the foundation for this senior class to move on to a new chapter. Seniors, as you look to the future, there will be obstacles to face. It's how you approach and handle those that will determine the life that you build upon your foundation. Look for the light when you find yourself in the dark. Find the sliver of hope when you feel despair. When presented with choices, use good judgment. Every challenge presents an opportunity. This is not the end, but a start. On behalf of the school board, I wish you all the best as you continue building on the foundation laid during your years at Slippery Rock Area School District.
Please bear with us as we are experiencing some technical difficulties. So give us a couple minutes, 5 minutes, and then we'll listen to our valedictorian and salutatorian. Vance Fowler. Vance is the son of Troy and Susie Fowler of Slippery Rock. During his high school career, Vance has taken 7 advanced placement classes, including AP Chemistry, Statistics, European History, English Literature, Calculus, English Language and Composition, and Government Politics. While at Slippery Rock Area High School, Vance has been an active member of the boys' varsity soccer team, jazz band, math club, the musical, and stage crew. Outside of Slippery Rock Area High School, Vance has attended the LECOM Emerging Scholars Academy. He is also a volunteer for the Slippery Rock Summer Lunch Program. Next year, Vance plans to attend Furman University, where he will major in Spanish and pre-med. Upon completion of 4-year college, Vance plans to attend medical school. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2020 salutatorian, Vance Fowler.
Thank you. And congratulations to the class of 2020. I want to read you all a message that my chemistry teacher, Mr. Alfred, wrote to me as a graduation gift. I hope he doesn't mind if I share it. He writes, "The power of the written word should remind us always that we know so much because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Continue to be humble. Also, not everything our predecessors did was a good idea. Pay attention, learn as much as you can, but be critical and analytical. May you always be wise enough to cast off false ideas." When I read this, I was immediately reminded of my favorite book. It's called Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller, and it is a true story about the life of a man named David Starr Jordan, a man who failed to follow Mr. Alfred's advice. I'm going to tell you his story, and I'm thankful for the author, who is the giant who compiled this research and told his story. David Starr Jordan was a taxonomist, so he studied animals and classified them based on similar characteristics. He specialized in marine animals, and it is estimated that he and his colleagues discovered 1/5 of all fish known to humans today. It's an incredible accomplishment and an amazing gift to science, but this is not the whole story. See, many of the fish that are credited to him were actually discovered by local fishermen, without whom Jordan's work would have been impossible. These people were Jordan's giants. However, Jordan gave them no credit for their work, and this is because many of these people were poor or immigrants or had some other quality that led Jordan to believe that they were unfit. You see, Jordan's work as a taxonomist led him to believe in eugenics. Eugenics is a terrible belief that the human race should be purified by only allowing people with desirable traits to reproduce. Those without desirable traits should be prevented from reproduction and in many cases sterilized. Now, not only is this idea morally wrong, it is scientifically false. In biology, diversity is a good thing. A species with many different traits is more likely to survive. They're less likely to be wiped out by a single threat. Jordan, of all people, a biologist by trade, should have been able to recognize this, but he was blinded by his false ideas. I'm telling you Jordan's story not to shame him, although he is definitely worthy of shame. I'm telling you his story as a warning to the harm that false ideas can bring. The eugenics movement in America led to tens of thousands of innocent people to be surgically sterilized. It's something that no one should have to experience, and it shows the true consequences of believing in false ideas. It can hurt real people. We live in an age where misinformation is so easily spread, and especially in a time like this when we're all physically separated. So I urge you to learn from Jordan and not let the false ideas suck you in. Be critical of all the information that you receive. And the other reason I told you his story is to remind you how you got here. Whether you are in the class of 2020 or not, you didn't do it alone. You couldn't do it alone. Whether it be family, teachers, coaches, or even friends, we've all had people who've helped us grow. Giants upon whose shoulders we have stood. Recognize them and what they have done for you and thank them, because you couldn't have done it without them. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2020.
Also a great honor and privilege to introduce this year's valedictorian, Kayla Doherty. Kayla is the daughter of Kim and Scott Doherty of Prospect. During her high school tenure, Kayla has taken 5 AP courses, including the following: AP Language, Literature, U.S. History, European History, and Chemistry. While at Slippery Rock Area High School, Kayla has played on the girls' varsity soccer team, been a part of the high school jazz band, and participated in Wellness Club for all 4 years. For 2 years, Kayla has been an active member of the peer groups TADA, which is Teens Against Drugs and Alcohol, and Tattoo, which is Teens Against Tobacco Use, as well as National Honor Society. She also participated in the Butler County Youth Leadership in 2019. Outside the halls of Slippery Rock, Kayla has played soccer for Northern Steel for 6 years. She has also played for the Prospect boys and girls soccer teams. Kayla also referees for PA West Soccer. She has made and donated blankets for the Ronald McDonald House charities in her spare time. Kayla enjoys playing the piano. Next year, Kayla plans to head to Washington and Jefferson College, where she will be majoring in accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2020 valedictorian, Kayla Doherty.
Good evening, everyone. Families, faculty, friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2020. My name is Kayla Doherty, and it is my great honor to stand before you as a representative of such an outstanding class. Even though this is not the typical setting for our graduation, I want to thank everyone for making this possible. We might not be together in the way we had hoped, but we are together nonetheless. Now, let's get to why we're all here, to mark this momentous day as we move beyond the walls of high school to begin the rest of our lives. The future is very unclear for all of us, so it's hard to look at the next chapter of our lives with the wide eyes filled with excitement that we had only a few months ago. But, as Apple CEO Tim Cook once said, you can focus on things that are barriers, or you can focus on scaling the wall, or redefining the problem. And that is what we all must do. When I think about it, we have always overcome obstacles, even if these obstacles now seem so small. From as early as 6th grade, we had to face one of our biggest transitions in life, simply moving from elementary school to middle school. But from something that seemed so scary at the time, came some of the most rewarding outcomes. We created bonds with people that have lasted us all the way through high school. In life, these big transitions happen all the time, but each one can present us all with new friends and memories that will last a lifetime. I will never forget, as I'm sure most of you won't either, the memories of continuous kickball with Mr. D, or seeing Mr. Book and Mr. Bushery, 2 grown men, a little too excited to see the Constitution. After middle school, we were presented with yet another obstacle in our way as we moved on to become dreaded freshmen. Here we all had to learn how to get through Center Hall without being trampled, and some had to learn that there is time before the morning bell to put your soccer stuff in the locker room, so you do not try to shove all your things in your locker, because, as I learned, it will most definitely jam your locker. Luckily, I also learned that if you ask your locker neighbor, they will gladly kick your locker until it opens. Thanks, Ryan. While they might have only happened to me, each one of us faced similar situations all throughout high school. We moved from watching football games on the hillside to sitting in the back of the student section. We continued facing problems and overcoming them every day, moving from unsure freshmen to sophomores who had to go through driver's ed and behind-the-wheel practice with Mr. Anderson. Some of us got our first cars, and we started to realize we were really growing up. As our high school life seemed to be aging quickly, we moved on to big bad junior year. Our schedules were filled with difficult classes, sporting events, dances, parties, and many overwhelming thoughts of college and our futures. And then finally, senior year, what we all waited for. We filled the student section hours before the first football game. We danced all night at homecoming, finishing with our strange but annual group circle singing Country Roads, and had the longest senior skip day of any class before us. Overall, each one of us has faced our own walls in our path, but we all shared one thing in common: this school. While many times it was the source of our problems and seemed to be the root of all evil, it was also a place to share laughs, memories, smiles, and lots of slow claps. So as we continue to live through this unsure time, remember this quote by Aristotle, who was also known as Jace Franco to my 11th period European history class. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Congratulations to us, the class of 2020.
At this time, would you please exit your vehicle and join me in honoring those who served and continue to serve our country and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call Group 1, which is the top 10, and last names Augustino through Bowers to the right to line up. And I'd also like to call Group 2, which is Brejo through DeMarco to the left to line up. Please be patient as we begin to call the class roll. Mackenzie Jean Cox.
Yeah, Mackenzie!
Yes, Mackenzie! Congratulations!
I've got a pair of shades for you.
6 shades.
Jess Allen Landsberger.
Yeah, Jessie! Yes! Congratulations! You made it!
Sarah Joanne Lacey.
Congrats, Jess.
Have a good night.
Logan Robert Leone.
What are you talking about?
Riley Scott Lewis.
Sorry.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Isabella Grace Lindy.
So let's just get shaking.
Oh, what do you want to do?
Izzy, congratulations!
Alora Jacqueline Mangan.
Congratulations, Laura! You're welcome. Congratulations. There's a rose for you.
Manamo Sihako Manning.
Congratulations.
Zachary Victor Brady.
Zach, Blocker neighbor, congratulations. Been real.
May I have Group 6, which is Reimers through M. Taggart. Please report to the left to line up. Duncan James McCoy.
Yeah, Duncan!
Congrats, Duncan. There you go.
Caitlin Elizabeth McWhorter.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job.
Keith Matthew.
Yes, very nice. Congratulations. Congratulations. There you go. Be careful.
Evie Marie Burton.
You made it!
Sophia Elizabeth Minky. Sosha.
Yeah, Zosha!
Congratulations, Sosha!
Shane Matthew Mazzara.
Congrats, Shane! Congratulations! Good job! You made it!
Congratulations!
We're proud of you!
Madison Sophia Maurice.
Yes! Woo, Maddie!
Rebecca Nicole Myers.
Yeah, Becca Myers.
Congratulations.
I want to give it to it.
Congrats. Congrats, small sister. We're like fighting over
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Great job.
Congrats, Tim.
Aiden Daniel Nipper.
Congratulations, Aiden.
Congratulations.
My fellow art buddy. There you go. You're welcome.
Mark Joseph Novak.
Very proud, Mark.
Congrats, Mark.
Caitlin Virginia Novak.
Congrats, Caitlin.
Taylor Ann Palmer.
Yeah, Taylor Palmer.
Congratulations.
Harley Kirsten Booth.
Congrats, Vito.
Leah May Pollard.
Yeah, Leah Pollard.
Congrats, Leah. There you go, pretty lady.
Congrats, Leah.
Alexis Ireland Cantine.
Dang, girl. Who's that winner?
Congrats, Lex. There you go. Congrats, Lex.
Emily Nicole Rain.
Emily.
Congrats, Emily. There you go. Good job.
Ashlyn E. Randolph.
Yes,
Yes, Ashley. Get up here.
Get up, up, up. There you go, Ashley.
Yeah, McKenna. It's you early.
Respect.
James Lacey. Cruz Norbus. And the class of 2020 officers, please report to the right to the lineup. Maggie Elizabeth Reimers.
Yeah, Maggie.
Congratulations, Maggie. Congratulations. Did good.
It's okay. Thank you.
Elizabeth Jiwan Reiser.
Yeah, Ellie.
Congratulations. You made it.
Congrats, Ellie.
Megan Ashley Salzoni.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Get that stuff over here. There you go. Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Noah Michael Samuel.
Congrats, Noah. Congratulations.
Dylan Aubrey Sandage.
Yeah, Dylan.
Good job, Dylan. Congratulations, Dylan.
Congrats,
There you
Dylan.
go.
Clark Adler Schwartz.
Congratulations, Clark. Congratulations. You guys are like throwing stuff at me.
Ryan Claire Scott.
Yeah, Ryan.
Congrats, Ryan. Congratulations. There you go.
Dakota Richard Seaman.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations. Abigail Self. Curtis William Schaefer.
Congrats, Abby. Hang on, everyone. Congratulations, Curtis. Congratulations.
Rose Scheidemantel.
Yes, Kendra. Good job. There you go.
Congrats.
Brandon Scott Coach Jordan. Gabriel Alexander Smith Power.
Yeah, Gabe. Woo. Gabe, come here.
Gabe, we're here to get gifts for you.
Congrats, Gabe. Congrats, Gabe.
Autumn Marie Smith.
Congratulations.
Noah Daniel Schneider.
Congratulations, Noah. Congrats. Thank you.
Christian Alejandro Sosa.
Congratulations, Christian. Congratulations.
Sophia Madison
sing a song for all of them. Sophie! Congratulations! Congratulations! And the police. Congrats, bro. Congratulations. Be careful. Sure.
Faith Elizabeth Steinmetz.
Good job, Faith. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Taylor Paige Stoops.
Good job. Be careful. It's very dry.
There you go. Isabella Eleanor Stoner.
Yeah, Bella. Congrats, Bella. We're proud of you. Congratulations, Bella.
Grace Kelly Steiner.
Yeah, it's not just you. Yeah, congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations, Grace.
Lynn
You guys need to
Hammond.
figure out something here. Yeah.
Madison Rebecca.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Jonathan Chase Thompson. Zachary Blaze Thompson. Nathan Alexander Franklin.
Congrats, Nathan. Take a picture. There you go. Congratulations.
Alexis Sue Leiter.
Congratulations, Alexis. It's girl. Okay, there you go.
Anna G. Bannister.
Congratulations, Anna. Congratulations.
Bring it, baby!
Lindsay Carol Brown.
Congratulations, Lindsay. One up two to another. There you go.
Thomas Christopher Webb.
Congratulations, Thomas.
Congrats, Thomas.
Congratulations.
Wayne Weirick.
There you go. Congratulations, Thomas.
Blake Isaac Wittenberger.
Good job, Blake. Congratulations.
Carly Ann Worsley.
Congratulations, Carly.
Julia Marie Hart. Kala Elise Martin. Anthony Michael Bedell. Edward Gill. Jason Nathaniel, you want to go front and center here, folks? Give us about 5 minutes so that we can give the president his speech and we'll get ready to turn your tassels and make it official.